Kamigawa Neon Dynasty is out, and there are so many new, exciting commanders. I plan on doing deck tech videos on several of them, but the one I wanted to start with was Tatsunari Toad Rider. Tatsunari is a 3-mana legendary 3/3 human ninja with a lot of text. Basically, whenever you cast an enchantment spell, if you don't already have one, you summon a legendary 3/3 black and green frog named Kimi. Kimi says whenever you cast an enchantment spell, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Tatsunari also has an activated ability for 1 generic and 1 simic that makes it so Tatsunari and target frog cannot be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. Basically, he's leaping over obstacles and can smash into your opponent's faces. So there are several ways to build Tatsunari. You could build some kind of frog tribal, and being in Sultai means you have access to about 30 frogs. But I decided to go with enchantment tribal. I couldn't make up my mind on which way I wanted to go with the deck, so I created 2 deck lists. One, a budget auras deck that works well with Tatsunari's unblockable ability, and the other one that relies on Kimi draining out our opponents. I tried to keep the auras deck super budget, only $50. But for the Oops All Enchantments build, I kept the budget at under $50 a card. Let's start with the budget auras build. If you'd like to see the Oops All Enchantments build, skip to the timestamp below. Before we get started, let's keep in mind our checklist. 50 mana sources, split between lands and ramp, usually 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp. 10 pieces of card advantage. 8 to 10 pieces of interaction or spot removal. 2 to 3 board wipes. 2 pieces of graveyard hate. 1 sudden I win card. There are plenty of auras that replace themselves, so they don't really count as card draw, but they do help us keep our hands full. To start, we're running Rune of Flight, Rune of Might, Cetizen Training, and Shield Plaques. We also have a couple auras that draw us additional cards in Curious Obsession and Sleeper's Robe. Now, our primary win con in this deck is pumping up Tatsunari and killing our opponents with him. So in order to do that, we've got Unholy Strength, Arachnoform, Dark Favor, Ancestral Mask, and Moldervine Cloak. To help us with additional evasion, as well as additional damage, we have Aqueous Form, Arcane Flight, Rancor, Aether Tunnel, One with the Wind, Spectral Flight, Demonic Embrace, as well as Epic Proportions and Prodigious Growth, both of which can win us a game out of nowhere. Finally, in order to ensure Tatsunari survives, we have several auras that protect our commander in Demonic Vigor, Kaya's Ghost Form, Spider Umbra, Vanishing, Cradle of Safety, Eel Umbra, Starlit Mantle, Boar Umbra, Snake Umbra, and Drake Umbra. In order to keep drawing a bunch of cards so that we can keep casting auras, we're running Hateful Eidolon, Eidolon of Blossoms, Cetizen Champion, Enchantress's Presence, Wizard Class, Greed, Windfall, and Verdurn Enchantress. Now, since Tatsunari is blocked by flying creatures, the first board wipe I looked at was Hurricane, followed by Flood of Tears. I know there are much more powerful options in Sultai, but remember, we're a budget deck. Most of our interaction is enchantments, which plays very well with Kimi. To start, we have Cartouche of Strength, Frogify, Imprisoned in the Moon, Seal of Primordium, Seal of Doom, and Seal of Removal. We're also running good old-fashioned Negate as well as Commit Memory as our first piece of Graveyard Hate. Our ramp package consists of several enchantments as well. To start, we have Overgrowth, Fertile Ground, Wolf Willowhaven, Wild Growth, Druid Class, Font of Fertility, and Sanctum Weaver. We're also running Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Cultivate, Kodama's Reach, Farseek, and Circuitous Route. For lands, we're running Bojuka Bog as our second piece of Graveyard Hate, as well as Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Opulent Palace, the Guild Gates, Gain Lands, Artifact Bridges, Typed Snow Duels, 7 lands, 6 swamps, and 8 forests. So let's compare our budget list to our checklist and see how we did. 50 mana sources, right on track. 11 pieces of card advantage, not counting the auras that replace themselves. 8 pieces of interaction, plus 10 more pieces of protection. 2 board wipes. 2 pieces of graveyard hate. And 1 sudden I win card. So our deck checks all the boxes. But as I said at the beginning, I wanted to build 2 decks. Now it's time for our Oops All Enchantments build. This deck is literally our commander, 37 lands, and 62 enchantments. But we are cheating a little by adding some enchantment creatures. As I stated earlier, this isn't a budget build, but I wanted to keep the cost a little under control, so I put a limit of $50 per card. So fetches are okay, but duels are not. To start, our card draw consists of Eidolon of Blossoms, Cetizen Champion, Enchantress's Presence, Search for Azcanta, Wizard Class, Sylvan Library, Rhystic Study, Dark Tutelage, Greed, and Phyrexian Arena. Interaction consists of Destiny Spinner, Kenrith's Transformation, Archetype of Imagination, Imprisoned in the Moon, The Eldest Reborn, Propaganda, Confunding Conundrum, Ashiok's Erasure, Binding of the Old Gods, Seal of Primordium, Seal of Doom, and Seal of Removal. For board wipes, we have Pernicious Deed, The Meathook Massacre, Doomwake Giant, and Vile Consumption. But how are we winning with this deck? Obviously, we'll want to drain our opponents with Kimi and a bunch of enchantments, so to go with the life drain theme, we're running Warlock Class, Sanguine Bond, Exquisite Blood, Retreat to Hagra, Polluted Bonds, Hissing Miasma, Curse of Fool's Wisdom, Tainted Remedy, Blood Reckoning, and Court of Ambition. We don't want to sacrifice our commander from an opponent's sacrifice effect, so for token-generating enchantments, we're running Arasta of the Endless Web, Sandworm Convergence, Kiora Bests the Sea God, Ranger Class, and Ominous Seas. For general shenanigans, I've included 2 copy effects in Mirror Maid and Estrus Invocation, as well as a Rogue class to steal cards from our opponents. And finally, our win cons include Penman's Aura, Ancestral Mask, and Nylea's Colossus. Now, the reason Penman's Aura is a win con is because the first piece of ramp in our deck is Sanctum Weaver. With just those 2 cards, we generate infinite mana, allowing us to draw our deck through Greed or win through other shenanigans. But since we can't rely on 2 cards, we're also running Fertile Ground, Overgrowth, Wolf Willowhaven, Gift of Paradise, Kalani Heart Expedition, Weirding Wood, Wildgrowth, Verdant Haven, Black Market, Font of Fertility, Druid Class, Exploration, Dryad of the Elysian Grove, and Zendikar Resurgent. Our lands consist of Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Opulent Palace, Zagoth Triome, Shocks, Fetches, Checks, Bondlands, Bajuka Bog, Reliquary Tower, 7 Forests, 5 Islands, and 6 Swamps. So let's compare this list to our checklist. 50 mana sources, right on track. 10 pieces of card advantage. 12 pieces of spot removal, a little high, but that's okay. 4 board wipes, again a little heavy, but not too bad. 1 piece of graveyard hate. 3 sudden I win cards. So all in all, our deck checks almost every box, and it's a ton of fun to play. The deck is not the most powerful version of Tatsunari out there, but it is unique and a meme. If you want a fun way to play this commander, I recommend Oops All Enchantments. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. Please like and subscribe for more content. I post new Commander videos every Monday. Or you can click here for more Commander content. Stay safe, and I'll see you all again next time on Musings by Danon.